So, welcome to my pre-run dynamic stretching warm-up. And this is purely just to get your body ready for a running session. We don't want to go out into runs with cold muscles or even doing static stretches beforehand, because if you think of it like a piece of plasticine, you pull it out of the packet and pull it straight away, things are going to snap. And that means tears to muscles, etc. So I'm just starting off the warm-up by getting the body mobilized. As you can see, I did a numerous kind of arm swings, just kind of opening up the body and getting what's called synovial fluid moving around your joints, basically lubrication. So what I'm doing right now is just drawing a nice big circle with my hips and getting my hips mobilized, which are often used quite heavily in running. So we're just going to finish off getting those hips mobilised, and these are just simple leg swings, and I'll do 10 back and forward on both sides, and I'm just showing you from the side on as well so you can see what I'm doing. Obviously you may have longer or shorter range of motion than I do. And the idea is just to swing your leg and kick it as high as possible, both forwards and backwards, trying to keep your core engaged, your back straight and nice and upright. After this, I'm going to open out the hip a little bit further and swing my hip outwards as well. So again, just trying to kind of bring the foot across the body and then back out again. And I'm going to do 10 of these on each side. Again, like I say, we want to get those hips nice and mobilized. And this is all to get the body ready for a running session, especially if they're kind of tempo runs, fartlek runs, interval, threshold runs, anything where you're kind of putting your body through additional stress in sort of zone 3, 4, and potentially even zone 5. Again, this is called opening and closing the gate. This is a movement to get your hip flexors opened up, moving and operating as they should be pre-run. So just bringing your knee up, outwards and down, and then back in again. So up, outwards and down, and then back in again. Here's my attempt at doing it without anything to hold on to. If you can, great. If you can't, find something to hold on to and just make sure you're opening up that hip nicely. So we're going to start kind of getting the calves warmed up now. So take yourself into a nice deep squat position. Turn your feet out maybe 45 degrees slightly. And you're just going to raise up onto the balls of your hips, alternating, lifting your heels off the floor. So into that nice deep squat position. Forearms on your knees. And then just lifting up through the balls of your feet. And you should feel your calf contract and relax as you put that down again. And again, it's just kind of getting your ankles, your calves, all used to the body moving. So this is just some stretches or dynamic stretches to loosen up the hamstrings. Again, we just want to be putting our heel on the floor just slightly in front of us, leg nice and straight, and then we're going to scoop down under the heel and back up again. So scoop down under the heel and back up again. So heel planted on the floor, toe raised to the air, scoop underneath it and back up again. Again, we're not trying to bounce on these stretches. And again, we want to keep them nice and fluid and the movement going. I'm just going to start some jogging on the spot. I started off at probably about a 2 out of 10, 4 out of 10. This is probably like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. And then as you can see, getting those knees as high as we possibly can, 9 or 10 out of 10 effort. And then we're just going to reduce that down again to a slow jog, 2 out of 10, 4 out of 10, maybe 5 out of 10, and then to a 7 or 8 out of 10, and then you can see me get my knees nice and high, 9, 10 out of 10. Again, getting the blood moving around the body, the joints nice and mobilised. Now this is a few extra ones that you can throw in here. I have particular issues with my calves. I'm a midfoot striker but tend to end up on the balls of my feet, especially if running at pace runs, so tempo and threshold stuff. And it's just kind of rolling from your heel to the ball of your foot with your arms against the wall. So just putting a little bit of pressure through the calves, and as you can see, I'm turning my heels inwards and outwards to work different parts of that muscle. You only need to do about 10 of each on each side. and it just starts getting the calves warmed up and ready for a run. Again, I can show you from the side there. Again, we're not kind of holding the stretch or anything like that. It's just getting mobility, getting movement, and getting the legs nice and warm and supple, ready for the impact of the session that's ahead of you. And all of these dynamic stretches prior to runs are going to prevent injuries, which I see so often with runners. People get into really good kind of running patterns, kind of on for PBs and that for races, and don't necessarily make the start line because of injuries, or they're not able to complete the full block of training because of injuries, which impacts their times and PBs, etc. So just finishing off with a couple of little ankle rolls, and that's you ready to run.